Welcome to Fabulously Flawed, where the perfectly imperfect come to shine. Marni, along with her sensational sidekick Taylor, are the mother-daughter duo that puts the fun in dysfunction. Every episode, we unpack the chaos of mental health while sprinkling in the sass of pop culture. We're here to share stories, laughs, and lessons that remind you to embrace your quirks and to never, ever let anyone dull your sparkle. So join us as we celebrate the beauty of being fabulously flawed. Let's get real, let's get raw, and let's get ready to add a little extra shimmer to your day.
Hey, fabulous friends, fabulous listeners, fabulous everybody. Welcome to Fabulously Flawed. I am your host, Marni, and joining me is my sparkly, sensational, delicious, delightful sidekick daughter, Taylor.
Oh, that's so cute. Hi, guys. How are you? We love you.
Happy fall, y'all. Having a little bit of technical difficulty, but keep going, Tay.
Oh, okay. Hi. So usually this is my, the part of the episode where my mom starts to introduce.
Okay, I'm back. Narcissist Marni is back. So this episode is pretty impromptu, and I'm calling it Forgiveness. Now, here's the thing. Watching the show, Nobody Wants This, it taught me to save my content or things that I want to share, but let's share it where it's really raw and authentic.
Okay. Are you telling me something I don't know about?
Well, a story that happened to me that I want to share, but I think having your reaction is just going to, it's just about the power of healing. Okay. So last Saturday, I had my book signing at Barnes & Noble, and I needed to pick up food for my son afterwards. He doesn't let me say his name. So I ran into somebody when I was getting food, and I said, okay, I know your family member, and I don't like him because when I was 19, he used to really beat the shit out of me, and it was just horrible. Okay. And that was it. I was just like Charlotte, like when she was like, I cursed the day you were born, because I was on such a high that, 19-year-old Marni and, 54-year-old Marni are completely different people.
Right. Okay. Of course. Well, yeah, of course.
Okay. So last night, I got a text from that person.
Oh my God.
Saying, can we talk? Like, I'm here anytime you want to talk.
Oh my God.
Okay, you know who it is and everything. So I called up and I said...
You called him?
He said, if you want to talk anytime. So for 35 years, now let me give some backstory, okay? I write about this in chapter, I think, 2 or 3 in my book. When I was left at 17 with nowhere to live, I went to my grandfather's. He threw my clothes right behind his apartment. Literally, you walk out the door, around the corner was the dumpster. And he took all my belongings, put them in the dumpster, okay? It was like, at this point, I couldn't live anywhere. I was couch hopping. Nobody wanted me. So they said, you're going to go to New Orleans, December 1987. Or I'm sorry, January 1988, you're on the plane, New Year's Day. That's it, goodbye. Nobody wanted me. So I grew up in South Florida. Now I take a plane and living with my brother in New Orleans, Metairie, Louisiana, which was such a culture shock.
I'm sure
coming from Miami Beach, Aventura to Metairie, Louisiana.
Yeah.
When I had just been through my mother disowning me, being left, couch hopping, not knowing what the fuck was going on in my world. So at that time, I was kind of, I guess, dating this guy or whatever who was in South Florida. So I went to live with my brother. Now, I have no memory of anything that transpired. I just have like little snippets. So I called this guy. It was now April of 88, right before I turned 18.
Okay, so a few months
gone by. Exactly. Right. And I must have been so miserable, and I'll find out more. But I called the guy and I said, please, can you come take me away from here?
Were you in like a long distance relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. It's exactly, which is weird because there's no texting or any of that stuff. So I don't know how it went.
Right, yeah.
I'll find out.
Okay.
So fancy schmancy Nancy said, look, don't bring her to Miami, but here's a car. It was a Toyota 3000 GT or something like that. It was like a Celica. It was Evan's old car. She gave me a credit card. Thank you, fancy schmancy, and gave it to the guy. And, he drove out a car for me so I could have a car.
Okay.
But then I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. So I guess we must have rented a car because I couldn't take that car with me. And we just drove away. I don't know where we're going. I was about to be 18 with somebody who had his own story, which I'm going to, get preface after. And so we just stopped in Orlando. Okay. We had nowhere to sleep. We couldn't afford furniture. So we slept on a floor. He had his own addiction prior, a very bad addiction. And I was used as a punching bag. And we lived in Orlando for maybe, I don't know, I was 1988 of May, April, May. And then we moved back to South Florida maybe like 6 months later, a year later, something like that.
Okay.
I remember having the chicken pox when I was 18 and sleeping on the floor. And it was like really weird. Like, what's happening?
Okay.
Okay. So ironically, we moved to that building that I lived with my mother when I was 12. When I first ate the cookie in the refrigerator, remember I said, oh, it's so soft. When I had my eating disorder, remember I said the fresh cookies and I said they were soft and chewy and I ate one and more.
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember the
sorry.
chewy in the refrigerator and you said they're not supposed, okay.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I don't.
When I left camp after Philadelphia, when I lived in Philadelphia after 5th grade, I went to camp and they said, nope, you're not going back to Philadelphia. Now you're going back to Miami.
Yeah.
Your mother is getting remarried. So we were living in this apartment on 163rd Street where I had lived with this guy back in 19. So like full circle. I lived there when I was 12 and then I lived there again with this guy when we
Okay.
moved back. The
Okay.
same building in North Miami Beach.
Okay.
It was horrible. I mean, he had his shit. I had nowhere to go. So it was either live with him or go on the streets. So I chose,
Of course, a roof over your head.
A roof over my
Yeah.
head. And this is what I thought I deserved, from being bullied, I guess, in high school with all those papers, from my mother leaving me, no family wanting me. This was what I deserved. I thought I deserved to be a human doormat, a punching bag, whatever you want to call it. And the last I remember was being in the corner, and I write about this, like in the corner of the room, scared, and I called Nancy, and they called someone for the police. The police came, and I never saw him again. So 35 years ago, I have wanted to say, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate what you did to me because I have allowed, it ruined my esteem if I hear
Your
loud
self-worth,
bangs.
Yeah.
But okay, now I'm going back to Marni present day. That was just a little bit of a workup. But that's not how I feel, okay? Now here's the thing. You have unhealed Marni, untreated Marni who had no idea what was wrong with her, depression, trauma, PTSD, everything that happened up until that point. Anything that would give attention to me, I would gravitate to. This person had an addiction, unhealed issues. So when you're unhealed, look what the fuck happens.
When you say addiction with what?
Gambling.
Okay.
Gambling.
See, I'm glad you clarified because I was thinking drugs, alcohol.
It was gambling. Yeah, it was
Gambling
gambling
addiction.
addiction.
Okay.
So
God, I'm just thinking of all the angry assholes or demons. I don't think assholes is a
demons.
too
That's
kind of
why I beg people.
No, the angry demon. These men who get so angry that they lose money and they come home and they hit women.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
But
and
you know what?
They deserve hell.
But why are they gambling? Why are they using that addiction to numb something so it all goes back to heal yourself?
Of course. But I don't
Of
care.
course.
Even if you're.
No. I'm not justifying.
Yeah,
of course
okay,
not.
okay.
And had I not just read about that chapter, what are the odds reading about this book and then running into a relative? Like, it was just like really random.
So yeah, just to clarify, in case you missed it, my mom didn't run into her abuser. She ran into her abuser's relative.
Correct.
Yes.
So like when I called him back, because he texted me, call me anytime. And
How did he get your number?
I guess, I don't know. I guess I'm listed. I don't know.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not that hard to find here in South Florida.
Okay, that's true. Duh, your number is the number's like on your website. And
Duh,
everything.
contact me.
Oh my god, I'm like, how did this man get your number? Okay,
It's not like I live in anonymity or anything.
of course.
So in any event, so he called and I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't answer. And then I saw a text saying, hey, it's so-and-so, call me back or whatever if you ever want to talk anytime. So when I called back, he was like, hi, Marni. And I said, hi. He goes, I'm so sorry. I have no words. And then I just said, I thought I would rip you a new asshole. I thought I wanted to tell you to go to hell for what you did to me. I mean, I was called fat. He put the little piggy oink oink in the refrigerator. I mean, again, we were 18 and 19 years old. I'm not justifying anything, but looking back, I'm not defending anything.
You know what? I got this you've had unfortunately, I'm so sorry, but there have been several men in your life who have been horrible to you. And I was thinking
Yes.
this was the 34-year-old you were with.
No.
I mixed him up. I know who that is. And now I know that he was the same age as you, this guy.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh no, that was Lawrence. Yuck. So that's a whole nother chapter. And so he was my age. We were a year
Okay.
apart from
Okay.
school. So in any event, when he said hello, and he was just, I'm so sorry. And I said, do you have it? And I started to cry. I'm like, do you have a daughter? And he's like, I do. She's 24. She's your
Oh my
age.
God.
And he said the thought of anyone hurting her is just like beyond. Wait. So I'm like, do you have a daughter? And he was like, the thought of anybody hurting her, it's unimaginable.
Of course,
unimaginable.
yeah.
And he's just, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. This pain you went through. What can I do? Can I do anything to rectify it? Like, I am the thought that I caused somebody this pain, and I just started to cry, and I said, I didn't realize I needed closure. I don't hate you. I do not hate you. I
Wow,
understand.
I cannot believe you spoke to this guy. I am in
I know.
shock. I mean, I'm glad for you because it obviously gave you the closure you needed.
I
This
never
was-
realized I needed this closure because every time something was brought up, I always talk about it in that angry tone.
Yeah,
And I don't
course.
have that angry tone
Do you think
anymore.
that he was sincere?
Completely
Oh,
sincere.
yeah.
So sincere that my heart broke for the younger him because I know the pain he was in.
Yeah.
I know that nobody addressed mental health. They still don't today. But back in 1987.
Especially for guys, it
Okay.
was probably never ever uttered.
So it's like, I'm listening to myself last night saying, I understand it's not you. It was the unhealed you. I mean, we're not who we were. I'm not who I was at 19. God, no.
Oh
I'm
my
not.
God, of course not. You've
So-
gone through your entire lives. Yeah.
So it's, he's been married for 27 years.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Okay. So wait, the story gets even weirder. So then,
and they live down here, South Florida. Okay.
yeah, so here, and it's like, I can't believe I've never run into you.
Right.
And then he,
I'm sorry. Is he Jewish? Oh, I'm very surprised we've never run into them. then.
right?
Yeah.
I know, exactly. So, okay, oops, here I am. So it was just really, it was very cathartic. And I never realized I needed that closure. And I was crying like, you don't understand, because the unhealed me all these years, can't blame people. I allowed it. Yeah, people only treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Which I do agree with, but I also
Oh, I'm not condoning. Again, I'm
Okay.
saying I was so desperate and unlovable. What was I going to do? I allowed it. Nobody said, Marni, put yourself in therapy for what you went through with your mom. Love yourself, girl. You know your worth. Come on.
No, I agree. And I agree
it
with
was
that.
pitiful. That's why I beg everybody at young age, heal yourself so you never have to feel like rock bottom's garbage scum pond doormat.
But yes, everything you just said, I'm fully on board with. I was just saying, it's like sometimes I don't want people to beat themselves up if they're like, oh, I'm allowing this person to hurt me. Sometimes people just suck, and you're a human, and it's okay to feel.
Do you know what? If they hurt you once, okay. But if you stay with something, a situation, place, person, or thing that
Yeah.
continues to hurt you, then it's your fault.
Yeah, okay.
You're allowing it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about it in that instance.
Here, I'll give you an example, a simple one. If a guy comes to pick you up and he doesn't open the door on the first date, then he's never going to open the door for you. But if you stood there, then he'll know, oh, she's the kind. Well, if he didn't already know that, but you would demand that respect. You wouldn't get into a car without anybody opening the front door.
Right. Of course.
Okay?
Of course.
So again, I was damaged. He was damaged.
Yes.
So now I'm telling Daddy what happened. Sorry, Dad. I'm telling Dad
It's
what
okay,
happened.
it's okay.
And I'm crying. I'm like, you're not going to believe what just happened. He goes, I'm so happy for you, because every time something comes up, the tense.
Yes, of course.
My body tenses up, and
of
the
course.
triggers.
Your brain takes you back to
takes me back.
1988. Yes.
Whether it's a door slamming, yelling, just that's why I always get startled. And I understand that now. So after I spoke to him, I just said,
How long was the phone call? Sorry, I
No,
I have so
it's
many
okay.
questions. I haven't heard this yet.
it was about a half hour.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say 5-10 minutes.
No, it was like good, like maybe 25
Oh, so
minutes.
you really, I mean, after this, you'll tell me more in detail
Yeah, I
because
was
now I'm
just-
like, oh my gosh.
When there was such family problems with him, and now his parents live right down the street, and it's like it's like a whole different world. Like,
right.
I don't even
mean,
know.
hello, it's been almost 40 years.
I mean,
yeah.
so then he said to me in the conversation, something about I was afraid of my brother being a police officer. Something freaked me out. So now I'm like, other than going under hypnosis, this all is blocked out in my life. So I want to find out. So he said, how's Irv? I'm like, oh my God, my grandfather.
Oh my God, he said, how's Irv?
And Stanley.
Did he think Irv was was still alive.
Well, just
I know.
name Stanley, my father.
I know.
Like,
oh my God, I don't even know these characters.
exactly. That's how far back we're going.
I mean, no, 88. You were a child.
I was a baby.
I know.
I was
a
a
baby, of course.
So,
oh my God. Oh,
so
wow.
then
wow.
so then I'm talking and I'm telling Daddy what happened. And I mentioned, because I said, how's your family? How's this one, that one? Because everyone's like 80. Like every parent, everyone's just 80.
I know.
And I asked about his cousin that we used to babysit his little daughter. And so, he's like, fine, blah, blah. So now I'm telling Daddy the story and I'm crying and I go, even his cousin we used to babysit for is 80. And I say the cousin's name and Daddy's like, wait, what'd you just say?
Oh my God.
He goes, he has property on Lincoln. I have known him for years. And shows me a picture of him with his new wife or something.
Why? And how old is this guy? Old guy?
Yeah, he doesn't look close to 80, but he is.
Oh my God.
I said, are you fucking kidding me? A small world?
An extremely, extremely small
So now I text the picture to the person and I say, okay, this is really random, but my husband knows him. Like, this is just like ridiculous, like how small we are of a world. So Daddy's like, when she goes to the meeting, the building, the property, owner meetings, everybody, he brings the daughter, like the one that I used to babysit for.
Oh my God.
So
Talk
then,
about how old was when you used to babysit
two
her?
or born.
Baby.
She's
Okay.
like 30 now, or maybe she was 4 or something. So this was like 35 years ago.
So she's, yeah.
So then he texts back, if there's anything I can do to pay it forward, because he's like, this is just horrible. And I realized how I have grown. Like, I am at peace now. I cried it out. I mourned. I don't want to cry because I'm wearing lashes right now, but I healed 18-year-old Marni, 19-year-old Marni.
You don't understand, guys. My mom needed this.
What is the odds?
So badly. I know that this is just one
he
piece of the
knows.
puzzle, but I mean, it's one more piece that you didn't have before.
Yeah, we call him Mark in the book, just whatever. It's there. And you know what's even weirder? I think somewhere on I think he said once he was the head of Hard Knocks School. And in the intro of my book, I'm like, I'm the freaking valedictorian of graduated from Hard Knocks. But I forgot how long it was from, 1987 December. I think we might have gone out New Year's. And then I moved right thereafter. And then coming to get me right before 18. And I was with him up until I was 19. So I don't remember anything other than a few horrific instances. But I know I've never had friends after that. I've never had a close girlfriend other than the disgusting one who is just as gross as my bottomless, worthless pit of an emotion of a person. But really, this episode, I just want people to know, one, when I saw Diddy with Cassie on the floor kicking her, it triggered me. Not going to lie.
You and all the other domestic abuse survivors.
And this is Domestic Awareness Abuse Month. And
it is.
I just realized that.
Oh,
I know.
my God.
We're ending it. I know, on such a prolific note of give him his cookie. He just walked in the room. We're like, we're going to give him a cookie to distract him. And so, but the women who that are afraid to leave, but you shouldn't be there in the beginning. The minute a man hits you, leave. Protect yourself. And the man that's hitting, heal your goddamn self.
This is a whole
other dynamic.
I don't even know where to start, and I don't want to say any of the wrong things because this topic is so serious and so devastating. But if you're suffering, seek help. There are resources and get out. You're always safer on the other side, even if you don't think you are. Today,
the amount of help you can get and women who are helping women escape from situations like this.
Reach out to my mom. If
anything, please.
She's been through it and you're hearing about it.
But if somebody's right now in a God forbid domestic situation.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I mean,
if you're recovering from something and you want to share your experiences and how you've healed.
Yeah, okay.
I am your girl. But God forbid, if you're in a situation and your husband comes home drunk and beats the shit out of you, get out of there because your kids are watching this. People are you're
and there are ways. You call 911 and you say, I'd like to order a pizza, and they will pick up on what you're saying immediately. So
there are ways. There have been people that have given eye contact to a cashier, a waitress.
Do you know about angel shots, Mom?
Thank you.
Okay, you're not out on the scene anymore, but I am. And in so many restaurants, especially in South Florida, in the bathroom stalls, there is a picture that says, ask your server for an angel shot and we'll get you out of your situation immediately.
I love that.
Yeah.
It should be in every restroom, everywhere. It should be the token of everything.
You know what I've actually seen recently? A few months ago, I forget where I was, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, wherever, there was actually like tiers, like if you want us to call the police, say you want a double, if you want us to get you out, say you want a trip, like all these different specifications to help you in whatever situation you're in.
Now, mind you, if you're also listening and you are at the worst point of your life, mind you, at this point now, I'm 19 with no mother, no family, no education, no anything. What the fuck am I going to do? All I wanted was a normal life in a house with a family. Again, it all comes with healing yourself. That's all I wanted. Thank God.
And you were just meant to have it a little bit later in life.
Thank God I didn't go on the streets, do drugs. I did not go into prostitution.
You could have, I was just about to say, Mom, the path you could have gone down could have been the path of destruction.
It could have been horrible. But you know what?
Horrible.
I got a job at a travel agency.
I know.
Where Ada had her hair salon a few doors down. Okay, so now this is...
And the travel agency was Alicia's grandma,
exactly,
right?
Yep. That's when I met Berta Steinman. Oh, the sweet... She knew...
Everyone is always connected. My best friend's
Jewish,
grandma worked with my mom in the 90s?
1989.
89, okay.
At this...
Jewish geography.
Jewish geography. At this travel agency, she knew I was her children's age, and I was like stranded. And I don't think I ever said to him, like, I'm not in college. Look at everybody at sororities and fraternities. I'm glad there was no social media because I might have been even more depressed. So I want to ask him because he remembers things that I literally have blocked out. So, but he was so...
Your brain blocked it out
my
for
brain
you.
blocked it out. Exactly. The trauma blocked it out. But he was like, can I do anything to help pay it forward? Like anything I can do with this? And I was like, can I interview you? I'm thinking like...
I was just going to say, tell the men in his life to never, ever, ever do anything like that. And tell everyone, raise awareness for domestic abuse.
I look at my life like I live with emotional sobriety. My relapse that happened recently was like, okay, I emotionally relapsed, and I'm going to talk about that on my other episode.
When she says relapse means
a breakdown,
right? She does not mean drugs or alcohol.
No, I said emotional relapse. Yes, I call it emotional sobriety. I live my life moment by moment. In the moment, I stay present, but there are triggers that I now realize my whole family, we all now know as a one, this specific thing triggers Marni, and she wants to fucking die. At that moment.
Yeah.
You want the pain to end. And you know what? I called 988 and they friggin' call you back. Like I didn't recognize the number, and then they leave a message saying, please let us know you're okay. And so if you're listening, this just happened recently. And this specific trigger, we now know. But again, I'm glad it happened because it'll never fucking happen again, ever. So, but... Okay, let's go back to what I was saying. But when he said, can I pay it forward? Can I do anything to help others? Talk about it. Just
that's exactly what I said.
Should I interview him?
No.
That would be kind of weird. Yeah.
No. We're not having him on the podcast.
That's my ADHD mind just thinking, okay, interview, whatever.
I'm here to say, nope, he's not going to be a guest, but we appreciate him apologizing.
It healed me because...
I know. I mean, I still hate him. I don't care if he was 14 and messed up. What he did to you was horrific.
And I hate the situation more than anything I was left in.
I know.
Like, it's unfathomable that I had to ask people, can I live with you? Can I live with you? So marrying Dean when I did was like, again, kicked me out of the bedroom for not having sex. We were supposed to not be married, but he had a house, lived in the Bay Club,
God, I hate men. It's like you tell me all these stories and I'm like, my God, they are awful.
But you know what it is, Tay? It's the girls who allow it.
I know, of course.
I should have. The Marni today, get out of this room for not fooling around with me.
What? It's like, but women are constantly pushed down and pushed aside that we feel inferior. And it's
not anymore.
It's getting better.
What? I'm sorry. If I look at an asshole guy, I'm going to say one of two things. Either your dick isn't getting hard or your closet gay. One or the other.
And they're angry.
Mm-hmm. Like, come out of the fucking closet and be happy, be true to yourself.
And be nice.
Exactly. Or take your fucking erectile dysfunction pills and stop using your anger and projecting on other people. So that's why there is no man on this earth that could ever intimidate me. I don't care who the fuck you are.
No, you're right, Mom. And even I will say now, I know I'm still a baby, but as I'm getting older, I'm realizing things. I'm becoming more wise and more aware. And you're right. We are never let a man ever make you feel anything, period.
I can't believe. Now, the triggers that happen to me, it's not the person, place, or thing. It's that reminder of that feeling that is stored in my brain that doesn't want to come out. And it's like lays dormant like herpes. No, I'm not saying I'm saying, how people say dormant.
I know. Mom and herpes, yeah.
Just to clarify. And then all of a sudden, here it comes. It's like bubbling.
Yeah.
Oh no. It's like, oh no, that feeling's back. And it's that I become the Hulk.
I know.
Not Elphaba green, but Hulk
know.
green. And it's something you have had to watch. My husband, my whole life has been destroyed because of my unhealed triggers. So if you know something's bothering you and you're listening to this, please, for the love of yourself, for your future, for your own health, fix yourself.
For your future self. Yes. Do something today that your future self will thank you for.
Like my future self took 35 years to get here. I wish I was only 35. Although when I was told the other day by, can't say his name, my child, he said, thought you were a teenager for a second.
I know, like his
it.
subtle little compliments that just
Love it.
make your entire life. So
I love it. Thinks I'm young looking.
I just want to say that you're so brave for
You know what it
sharing
is?
this, Mom.
It doesn't
vulnerable.
Here's the thing. If somebody's big enough to say, I own it, I am aware of what I did, I will not ever it doesn't mean you're going to be my best friend. Doesn't mean we're going to go out and start playing cards and mahjong and, let's go out. Woo, woo. But the peace it gave me, I don't walk around with that heartache when that trigger comes. Now it's just, I understand it. And I said, because he said I was a bad kid. Like, you're not a bad kid. You were a troubled child who had no help, no direction. And unfortunately, I was the punching bag from your anger. Okay. I shouldn't have been in that position. I should have had adults helping me. 17 is still a baby.
You could point
But it doesn't matter. It could be 100 million things. But you know what? I survived it. So this is why I do what I do. I talk about my podcast, talk about my story out loud so people don't have to suffer in silence. That's why I share it, because I have been there,
I'm so proud of you and just so over the moon that this happened for you. I don't mean this situation.
No,
I mean the phone call last night, because it just probably opened up your mind to a whole new world of healing. So
and it's he's like, I've been married 27 years. I'm like, oh, I just married my husband for the third time. Like, I was just like, our lives went on such a different
right. But
and I was like, no, it's and then when I heard he had a daughter your age, that's when I started to really cry, hearing, I can't imagine anybody doing that to my daughter.
Of course.
Doesn't excuse it, but it healed myself. I didn't forgive him for him. I forgave him for the peace I didn't know I needed. Ooh, that was deep.
Yeah, that was, and mic drop. And
boom, mic drop.
Yeah, what a way to wrap up this episode. That was powerful and important. And I really hope that you guys took something from this episode and just pass it forward. No, you don't deserve, no matter what it was. Yeah,
you don't deserve what it doesn't. Your job is not to understand why somebody is abusing you, why somebody is hurting you. Your job is to fix yourself and realize you don't deserve anything but to be on a pedestal and treated with respect. That is it.
Period. Like, genuinely, like, end of sentence, end of discussion. That's it.
All my queens out there, queens and queens, everybody with your tiaras, just don't chase. That's how your crown falls off. No, you are a queen. Get on that pedestal with your tiara. And if anybody wants to rip you off of it, that's like the emotional pin person in your bubble. You do not let anybody take you down.
Pop it.
Don't let anyone burst. No, it's just, I'm so sad. I'm so proud of the younger me, but so sad when I think of what younger Marni went through. Like Marni Michelson, like, ooh, she died. Like the
old Marni can't come to the phone right now.
She made me do.
Well, we love you guys with our whole heart.
I know this was I didn't mention anything to you because I wanted this to be the most raw, authentic, and I didn't want you to have any time to think about it.
I'm in shock. Like, I can't believe it. I can't wait to hear more about it momentarily.
I know. It's just the most random. So hearing how his cousins connected to
Dad,
wow,
it's very
small
wild,
world.
extremely small.
It's a
and
small world. Jewish geography, Miami, you could sit with someone for 5 minutes and realize, oh, my cousin went to Boca camp with him. Oh, my sister-in-law knows him. I mean,
Absolutely, yep.
so on that note, guys, never let anyone burst your bubble, and never, ever, 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 that's for you in Paris, Eva, dull your sparkle. I love you guys so much. Stay strong, stay beautiful, stay happy, stay you.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Fabulously Flawed. Remember, every Tuesday and Thursday, it's your time to join Marni and Taylor, the mother-daughter duo that's redefining family time with a twist, putting the fun in dysfunction, one episode at a time. Craving more? Visit us at fabulouslyflawed.com. And don't miss out on the feel-good vibes with our exclusive merch at fabulouslyflawed.net. That's with 2 Ds on Etsy. Keep your sparkles shining and spread that fabulous energy.